So before I get into my dialogue about this video, I just want to say if you're a victim of this horrible storm that just passed about a week ago throughout the Southeast, whether you're here in Georgia, Florida, either one of the Carolinas, or Tennessee or Virginia, my heart goes out to you, and I really hope that you and your family persevere through this difficult time, because a lot of people were affected by this storm. This is one of the worst storms to hit anywhere in America in since forever, since documented history of this nation. They're also calling this the deadliest storm in modern history since Katrina, and Katrina took over 13, almost 1,400 people down in Louisiana and Mississippi. So, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get into what I want to talk about when it comes to this video. First of all, I'm in the Metro Atlanta area, if you've ever watched any of my content, and we kind of dodged a bullet. We had some serious flooding. We had people lose some of their houses and businesses, and roads were closed and trees came down, but nothing like you saw in Florida, South Georgia, East Georgia, Augusta area, upstate South Carolina, and of course the area that's getting the most attention is Western North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee, specifically the Asheville area and towns, that aren't too far away from Asheville. And I've been all over the South. I've been to Asheville, Buncombe County, North Carolina. I've been to Eastern Tennessee. I've been all over Georgia, of course. I've been all over Florida. I've been all over this country. And of course, the Southeast is in my backyard. I'm a Southerner, so I've been to all these places. And the devastation in Asheville area and some of those towns in particular is bad because, as we know, that's a mountainous region, and there are no major cities or even sizable cities built in the mountains anywhere in this country. Even throughout the world, there aren't very many major cities on top of mountains. You can't really build on top of mountains. So what we typically do is we build down in the valley, in between the mountains, or in the front of the mountains, or in the back of the mountains, but not on the mountains. That's significant because when that rain comes down at that rate, it gets funneled down into the valley, and those rivers swell up, and they become very, very turbulent, very, very violent, and they just sweep away everything in their path. When you're on a coastal area, the water rises up, but the water isn't moving as fast because it's relatively flat. But Asheville, North Carolina, there are two primary rivers that flow through that area. One is called the Swananoa, and the other one is called the French Broad River. If you've ever been up there, you know what I'm talking about. The French Broad River is a bigger river, and it's one of the main stems that helps to create the Tennessee River. So those rivers and some of their roads and streams and creeks just became overwhelmingly flooded. 25, 30 feet of water just pushing everything in its path. It was like a bulldozer of water, mud, trees, cars, homes, trailers. I mean, anything that was in the path of that flood water, the water just floated it up and just threw it wherever it wanted it to go. The water, it just does what water does. The water doesn't care. The water got somewhere to go, and unfortunately, those people's properties and vehicles just were victims of the flood. So prayers to you guys. My heart goes out to you. But I want to say something about this whole racial narrative. There are so many people on social media talking about, oh, the government is not helping the people out because this is a Republican area. This is a mostly white conservative community. And I'm just like, whoa, 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 whoa. Y'all tripping real hard. Like I said, my heart goes out to you. Many people across this country have gone through floods. And I just want to remind you guys that this is way deeper than race. Don't let this be about race. Don't let this be about liberal versus conservative, Democrat versus Republican, black versus white. That's where you're very wrong at. You got your head up your butt if you think this is about race, and I'm about to prove to you how. If you're old enough to remember, this was the scene from 2005 when Hurricane Katrina devastated New Orleans, a mostly black city. Okay? Same type of neglect, same type of response. It's deeper than race. The government does not care about us. If you're not a Washington, D.C. insider, they don't care about you. Remember, they was having all those people get funneled into the Superdome, and the roof even blew off the Superdome during Katrina. It's not about race. It's us versus them. We all we got. Y'all remember what Kanye West said back in the day?
Yeah, the destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Yeah, y'all remember what he said? George Bush don't care about black people. Now, you can take that however you want, but it was a devastating storm, and it was, 19 years ago. Next year will make the 20-year anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. 1,392 is the official death toll. Mostly black people dead. Imagine waking up and seeing bodies floating in the water in the streets. And the people had nobody to help them for days. They were all they had. Just like in Western North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee. You all you got. Now the federal government trying to creep in now, but it shouldn't take a whole week to help those people. Remember when Hurricane Harvey dumped 52 inches of rain on Houston, Texas over the course of 3 days? And people were walking outside with their babies in their arms in waist-high water. Yeah, so this is everywhere. Everywhere there's a natural disaster or a powerful storm, the federal government chooses to wait and take its time to get in there and get help. If they really cared, they would send the army, they would send National Guard, they would have all kind of helicopters and everything that we need, and they could have these places cleaned up in a matter of a few months if they really cared. We got the resources to do it, but it's not about the resources. It's about the allocation of the resources. It's about prioritizing your own citizens. If you're an illegal alien or you're Ukrainian, you get all the money. Look at how they responded to the wildfires in Lahaina out there in Hawaii. All those people dead, completely destroyed by the wildfires, totally destroyed. And where was the government to help? Nowhere to be found. And just to remind you guys, Hawaii is a blue state. And it happened up under this administration, a Democrat administration. Buncombe County, North Carolina, Asheville, that's a blue city. I've been there. It's a white liberal dominated city. When I went to Asheville for the first time 7 years ago, I promise you on my life, I'm not lying. When I was in downtown Asheville, I was walking down the street. I was seeing white liberals with purple hair. They had dreadlocks. I guess the white people's version of dreadlocks. And you could smell the marijuana smoke in the air. It's a blue city. Look up the Buncombe County election results over the past few years. They vote for the Democrat Party. So please don't make this about race. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap the video up. I just wanted to get on here and let you guys know that you're missing the bigger picture. And some people are even saying that there's lithium and natural gas and all kind of resources under those mountains up there in Western North Carolina. I don't know if there's any real veracity to that. So I'm not going to entertain those rumors as of yet. I'm going to do my research because I like to, research things before I put them in my videos. I like to know what I'm talking about before I start talking. I don't like being wrong. I just don't. But prayers to you guys up there in North Carolina, here in my backyard in East Georgia, South Georgia, Valdosta, Florida, anywhere that was impacted, Eastern Tennessee, Southwestern Virginia. It's a lot of people that have been impacted that are not getting the media coverage that they deserve. But at the end of the day, we got. And we have to stop having so much faith in this rogue federal government. This is the same government that took our freedoms away during COVID. They told us that if we don't get this vaccine, you can't work. If you don't have no mask on, you can't come into this store, right? Soldiers were being kicked out of the military for not getting the juice. Y'all remember that. Y'all should all remember that this government has showed us time and time and time again that we can't trust them. But what really hurts and what is a real spit in our face is that you got the money to give these Ukrainians billions of dollars for a war they're not going to win. The Russians are just too powerful. They've already really won. The war would be over if America hadn't been propping Ukraine up with all these billions of dollars of money that we supposedly don't have. And their leader, Vladimir Zelensky, comes to the White House with sweatpants on every time and walks away with a whole bag worth billions of dollars. It's a corrupt money laundering and just absolutely disrespectful scheme against the taxpayers of this country. And unfortunately, we the people are responsible for our government being corrupt and disrespecting us the way that they do because we've allowed it. We allow our government to do this to us. We can shut this down tomorrow if we really wanted to. It's more of us than them. But we're too comfortable. The people that's going through this storm, they're not comfortable right now. They're pissed off, and they should be. But the masses of Americans are still asleep at the wheel. We're still okay as long as we got our electricity, as long as we got our food, our clothes, our jobs, our cars. The gas stations got gas. We got our porn. We got our drugs. We got our alcohol. We get to have all the sex with whoever we want to. Anything that we do that is a distraction to our day-to-day life, or a addiction we have, or vices, or whatever. We're all imperfect. None of us are perfect. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm just stating the facts that we are so comfortable in this country that the government gets to get away with giving away our taxpayer dollars to people who are not even legitimately supposed to be here. And when time of need happens, they offer $750. Kamala Harris offered the victims of this terrible storm $750 measly dollars. I don't know anywhere in America where you can pay rent for $750 a month. Maybe in some of the more rural areas of the country, you can probably pay $500-$600 for a 1-bedroom apartment or something, or a trailer. I don't know. But in the major cities, maybe 20 years ago, you could pay $750. Here in Metro Atlanta, in some of the suburbs, I ain't even talking about the heart of the city where it's even sky high. Even in some of the suburbs, they want $1,100, $1,200, and $1,300 for a 1-bedroom rent. Rent, not owning, rent, not a mortgage, rent. And you offering $750? $750? What the migrants getting? The migrants getting a whole bag, and they broke the law to get here. But I ain't gonna ramble on too much anymore. I just wanted to remind the people that it is way deeper than race. They do this to Democrat cities and Republican cities. New Orleans is a Democrat city. Asheville is a Democrat city. Houston, Texas is a Democrat city. Texas is a Republican state. So is North Carolina. So is Georgia. But it doesn't matter about that. It doesn't matter about skin color. Not when it comes to the federal government. We all we got. We need to stop being so immature and petty when it comes to these type of situations, and stop allowing them to divide us by race. Because when I saw those people getting rescued in Katrina 19 years ago, it was white folks helping black folks and black folks helping white folks. Up there in North Carolina, it's mostly white people, but I'm pretty sure there were some black people in need. The white people will be helping the black people too. Down there in Houston, Texas, one of the most diverse cities in America, it was all kind of people helping each other. Mexicans, blacks, whites, Asians, everybody needed rescue. Everybody was getting in them boats. And it's the same thing in North Carolina. Everybody helping everybody. Race is irrelevant right now. It's about survival. People are trying to survive. People don't have water. They babies don't have formula. People are going a whole week without taking a shower. When just a week ago everything was all good. They had power, they had water, they had internet, they had food, they had gasoline. Now they have none of that. So just keep in mind that in one foul swoop, one storm, we're all one storm away. We're all one natural disaster away from being just like them folks in Western North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, South Georgia, Florida. Just like when they was down there in the water in Hurricane Katrina. Just like they was down there in the water in Houston, Texas. Just like they had them wildfires out there in Hawaii. We one natural disaster away, all of us. We're all vulnerable. It can happen to any of us at any time. Try your best to be prepared. And remember that the government is not on our side. We got to start relying on the government. And if the government not going to help us, they shouldn't be helping nobody. We should not be allowing them to give our hard-earned tax dollars. We work hard for our money. We should not be allowing them to give billions of our dollars away to Ukraine. Billions of our dollars away to illegal immigrants who don't even deserve to be here. And with that being said, I'm wrapping the video up. Y'all better vote for Trump this November, whether you like him or not. Vote for that man, because he's better than anything that they got on the other side. Y'all like my video and share and subscribe. Peace.